This week we close out the prequel trilogy with Revenge of the Sith. This movie has many iconic ships in it, so let's get right to it. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is every ship and vehicle in Revenge of the Sith. The first ship on screen is the Venator-class Star Destroyer. Obi-Wan and Anakin fly over it in their Kuat Systems Engineering Eta II Actis-class light interceptors, and as they come around the bow they reveal the Battle of Coruscant. In this one sweeping shot we see several more Venators, as well as Lucrehulk-class battleships and the new Munificent-class star frigates. Several clusters of droid tri-fighters and ARC-170s pass by them as well. It is difficult to see what exactly is present in the battle as our heroes swoop through it, but on their way to their destination they also pass a Recusant-class light destroyer and dozens more of the aforementioned warships. The destination in question is General Grievous's flagship, the Invisible Hand, a Providence-class dreadnought named after a metaphor for the free market. It is, as Anakin says, crawling with vulture droids. When they reach it, we can briefly see an MTT parked in its hangar before the blast door closes. Obi-Wan and Anakin manage to rescue Chancellor Palpatine, but as they make their escape, a Venator named Gwarlara pulls up alongside the Invisible Hand and engages it in a broadside duel. It causes serious damage to the Hand, disrupting our hero's escape plan and causing the Separatist flagship to start sinking into Coruscant's gravity well. Because of this, Grievous flees the battle in an escape pod and leaves the Jedi in charge of the doomed ship. The strain of deploying its air brakes proves too great and the Invisible Hand is torn in half. Finally, as what's left of the Hand plummets into the atmosphere, it is met by a squadron of Rothana Heavy Engineering F-143 emergency speeders, which attempt to help by putting out the fires burning across the ship's hull. After the battle, the Jedi travel to the Senate building in a Go Corp Util 313 shuttle bus. They pass by the innumerable, indistinct ships and speeders that make up Coruscant traffic. We know some of these are easy-ride passenger air speeders, but the rest are unidentifiable. At the Senate, we see several of this winged ship that looks an awful lot like Padme's ship we will see later. I'm not sure why there would be 4 of them here, though. We also see a YT-1300 class light freighter coming in for a landing. There is also a similar but larger bus on the landing pad next to the Jedi shuttle bus, as well as a Utapauan vehicle known as a scoop skimmer, which lands just as Kenobi leaves. Speaking of Utapau, General Grievous flies there after the battle in a Sheathipede-class shuttle. On his approach, he passes a Trade Federation core ship named the Unlimited Projection, embedded into the wall of the pit. Much later, Obi-Wan, Mace, Windu, and Yoda ride an LAATI gunship to the Coruscant shipyard, flanked by 2 clone troopers on what appear to be BARC speeder bikes. Once they arrive, we see dozens of HAVW A6 juggernauts being loaded onto several Venators, as well as several all-terrain attack pods and infantry support platforms. Over on Kashyyyk, we see an Apazana Engineering Works Oever jet catamaran and several Radon-Asp fluttercraft. We also get a better look at the juggernauts and AT-APs we just saw loaded onto the Venators. The Separatists attack the Wookiee forces with Techno-Union NR-N99 Persuader-class droid enforcers, Heor-Chal Engineering HMP droid gunships, and platoon attack craft. Back on Coruscant, Obi-Wan is preparing to board a Venator to Utapau. We can see in the background that he is planning to take several AT-TEs and LAATs with him. although instead of taking the Venator, he takes another Eta II Actis by way of a Silure 45 hyperdrive ring. On Udow, we get an extremely brief glimpse of a Bactoid Armor Workshop Rogue-class Porax 38 starfighter. Kenobi finds Grievous, and after a lightsaber battle, the Separatist general boards his Zigomat Turnbull Gupat Corporation TSMEU-6 personal wheel bike to escape. During the ensuing chase, we briefly see a Macoon Corporation high-altitude entry transport 221, a very rare alternative to the LAT, which is also present at the battle. The 3D model for this ship was actually originally supposed to be a Separatist battleship in the Battle of Coruscant, but it was scrapped and reused for this scene as a Republic dropship instead. Grievous nearly escapes to his Belbalab 22 heavy starfighter, Soulless One, but is finally stopped and killed by Kenobi. Back on Coruscant again, as the Jedi Council moves to confront Chancellor Palpatine about being a Sith Lord, Anakin boards a Daystar Craft DC-0052 intergalactic speeder to rescue him. He succeeds, and Palpatine enacts the final stage of his plan to take over the galaxy, Order 66. In the ensuing montage, we see unstable terrain artillery transports on Magneto, ATAPs, ISPs, ATTEs, and all-terrain open transports on Felucia, ARC-170s and a Delta-7 Aether Sprite on Cato Nemoidia, Bark speeders and a 74Z speeder bike on Seleucami, and all the usual Republic, Separatist, and Wookiee ships on Kashyyyk. Finally, seeing the Jedi Temple burning from across town, Senator Bail Organa flies over to check it out in his Narglatch AirTech XJ2 airspeeder. Back on Kashyyyk, the clones search for Yoda on AT-RT walkers. They don't find him, because Chewbacca and Tarful help him escape aboard a Wookiee escape pod. On Coruscant again, Bail leaves the Senate aboard his CR-70 Corvette, the Tantive III, also known as the Sundered Heart. It was originally intended to be the Tantive IV, but the proportions and details were completely different, so it was later retconned to be the Tantive III instead. On Udow, Kenobi steals Soulless One to escape and rendezvous with Organa. There was supposed to be a Mankvim 814 interceptor somewhere on Udow, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'll just mention it now before we leave. Obi-Wan, Bail, and Yoda head back to Coruscant, where Bail witnesses Palpatine overthrow the government from one of the thousands of Senate repulsor pods. After this, Padme takes her ship, a Theed Palace Space Vessel Engineering Corps J-type Naboo star skiff, to Mustafar to confront Anakin. Have you ever noticed that all but two of the Naboo ships are named the J-type? J-type 327 Royal Starship, J-type Diplomatic Barge, J-type Star Skiff. They were really getting creative there. After she arrives on Mustafar, her stowaway Obi-Wan duels Anakin, now known as Darth Vader, across several lava skiffs and repulsor platforms. He wins and leaves Vader to die on the lava beaches. But instead of dying, though, Vader is rescued by Palpatine aboard his Theta-class T2C shuttle. He is taken back to Coruscant for surgery, where the shuttle is escorted by two Kuat Systems Engineering Alpha III Nimbus-class V-Wing starfighters. After Padme dies on Polis Massa, she is taken back to Naboo. We see what appears to be an N1 starfighter in the distance as the Sundered Heart lands, and Padme is carried in a repulsor sled in her funeral parade. In the next scene, after an unknown amount of time has passed, we see several Venators and V-Wings stripped of their Republic red paint, surveying the progress on the Death Star's construction. The Death Star is the last new ship of the film, though we do see the Sundered Heart one more time as well. And that's every ship and vehicle in Revenge of the Sith. As usual, let me know which one was your favorite, and if you saw any that I missed in the comments. Thank you for watching, thank you for 2,000 subscribers, and I will see you next week. RFC, out.